my friends. Welcome, happy Saturday, and welcome to another show here from East Texas Live Show. I'm so excited you guys are joining me today. I'm DC Gomez. I'm an indie author, and for those of you guys who don't know, I'm also a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a motivational speaker, but above all, honestly, I'm a dreamer. And that's the reason I started this program. I honestly want to help people to live their best life now. I want to motivate people to go ahead and find those potentials and be able to live the dreams that they truly want. So today's program, we're going to talk all about personal growth. So before we get started, if you're watching me, go ahead and send me a like to this video. Go ahead and share with somebody. The only way we can grow together in this community is we share with other people. Give me some hearts and let me know if you're here. And if you're watching, let me know where you're watching from so I can say hi. So throughout the program, if you have a question, concerns, or anything, put them under the comments. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be looking down to make sure that I'm actually following along. I'll be answering your questions as we go. If at any point in time you have a question throughout that I don't get to it, don't worry. I'll go ahead and answer them literally at the end. I'll go through all the messages again. Also, if you have a question that you don't feel comfortable posting it, that's okay, my friends. Just send me a note. I'll go ahead and answer them for you. So growth. We're talking about personal growth. And let's be honest, what better way to talk about growth than to talk about John Maxwell? I have a disclaimer before we start, and I think I gotta have to tell you from the beginning. So I am a huge John Maxwell fan. I have been studying for him over a decade. I love his work. I love his books. I love what he stands for. I am so much infatuated with him that I actually 2 years ago decided that I was going to go ahead and become certified. He has the John Maxwell team. So I joined the team and I am officially certified as a coach, trainer, and speaker. So this is how much I enjoy his stuff. So for those of you guys who don't know, and before we start, hi, Miss Jackie, who is joining us. Hi, darling. I'm so glad you're here. So yes, while you're here, give a like to this video. Tell me hi. Tell me any questions you have on your mind. Go ahead. So John Maxwell, if anybody's not familiar with him, he is one of the leading speakers in leadership and personal growth in the world. Here's the part that most people don't realize. John Maxwell has over 100 books written right now to this date in multiple languages, sold millions of copies across the world. And he's been doing this for over 50 years. I'm 41 years old. The man has been teaching, mentoring, educating longer than I have been alive. I'm like, oh my God. So that is officially mind-blowing to me. So we're going to be talking a lot, and this is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, so hopefully you guys don't mind. We're going to be talking a lot from his book. If you guys have never seen this one, I highly recommend it. It's the 15 Valuable Laws of Growth. So before we get started on what he wants to talk about, it's a little thick, so we're going to kind of go through it. I really want us to talk about why growth is important, why personal growth is important. We're adults. We need a why. And let's be honest, unlike kids who are in school, who you can kind of have them memorized, adults don't work that way. We need to have a reason why we're doing things. We need to understand what is this going to be beneficial for me? What is the good in this? So one of the things he talks about, in order to reach your true potential, you have to grow. In order to achieve these things, you have to be intentional. So this is something that you guys can kind of think back, whether you know people or not. Here's the part. I know people who are great at what I call shuffling paper. They will spend their entire days, home or work, moving things around. Nothing really gets done, which is quite interesting because they should literally go ahead and just move things around. Ooh, Craig. Hi, darling. Welcome. By the way, he has an audiobook release party today at noon. So I know you're jumping in and you're going to jump off so you can get ready for your amazing debut. I'm excited. I'm cheering on for you and I'm going to try to jump on that as well. So if you wanted to hear some fun authors, check out Mr. Craig. He's awesome. Just a quick plug for him. So John Maxwell. One of the things he talks about being intentional. So this is what happened to me this weekend. I can admit this. It's okay. I can kind of tell you my secret. I got lost in shuffling paper. That's what I'm calling it today. So I got lost and I needed to build a website. I needed to do what I call the sexy part. Websites are the sexy things, you know. I got busy on background colors. I got busy on everything but what I was supposed to do. I could have used those couple hours, 3 or 4, 5, if we're honest, of actually doing something important. I could have been working on my materials. I could have been working on my book. I could have been doing something, but I lost being intentional. So John Maxwell says growth is huge and we have to know the why. So I actually want to show you a couple of things. Why is it important? So one of the things I realized after I made the slide, I apologize. It is actually kind of tiny. So I'm actually going to have to read them to you Forgive me. So what I recommend is take a screenshot, something that you can kind of take with you, because I didn't realize how small it looked until I looked at it this morning. But we're going to talk all about growth. Why is it that we're doing it? It is one of those things that is not easy. Believe it or not, my friends, it is one of the things that when we're looking at it, you're going back, it takes time, it takes intention. So here it is. Take a look at this with me and tell me what you guys think. Ooh, Miss Jenny is joining us. Hi, Madame, welcome. So happy to have you. So we're talking about the why. Why do we need to grow? Why is it important? So let's look at the very first one. Take a look at it. To discover our purpose, we need to grow in self-awareness. Think about it this way. So growth is not just in our work. It's not just in one area of our life. It goes in everything you can possibly imagine, in anything you can possibly think about. So if you're trying to definitely become with your purpose, you truly have to spend some time trying to figure out who you are, where you're going from. So that's number one, self-awareness. Oh, big plug, if you're interested in jumping into the party for Mr. Craig, the link is in the comments, so check it out. I'm so excited. I don't have to look for the link, so this is even better. So number two, this is in the why are we growing? Why is it necessary? To become a better human being. Think about it this way. We have to grow in our character. This is the part that sometimes we're kind of looking at where are we deficient? When you take analysis of yourself, where do you need to improve? Where do you need to do, it's all about getting better. One of the things that I realized, and take a self-inventory if you guys want, and I do it every time. If you're in the same place you were 5 years ago, whether emotionally, professionally, spiritually, whichever way you are, you're stuck. You have not grown, you have not done anything. You found yourself there. The worst thing about being stuck, my friends, is like a record player. So if you guys remember, hopefully I'm not dating myself, if you still remember the old school records, you put it in, you put the little needle, and now they're coming back. Thank the Lord, so I don't feel so bad. So think about it every time it gets stuck. It was eek, eek. It's the same thing over and over. How do you know when you're stuck? When the same thoughts are coming to you every day. When you're repeating the same questions, when you're complaining about the same thing, or the same things are the only things you're thinking about, is a good indication that you're stuck. And that means something has to change in your life. So let's jump to number 3. Take a look at this one. To advance in your career, you definitely need to go ahead and grow on your skills. Oh, Craig has added something. I like that. To grow on your character from your heart. Yes, I love that part. I truly agree with you, Greg. It has to be something emotional. It has to be tied to your values and your belief system. And I think, from your heart, everybody talks about the golden rule. I'm a true believer that treat people better than they should be treated, or better than they treat themselves. Some people are very mean to themselves, my friends. So sometimes every time people say, treat me like you would treat yourself, I'm like, ooh, I would like for you to treat me a little better, because some people are mean to themselves. So think about it. But number 3 was all about skills. This is one that hit home really, really hard. Remember, 3 years ago, I took an entire career change. I decided to be an author. Having to grow in this career was humbling. Let's be honest. You're looking at a whole new world, not just in the writing part, but also the business. Because it wasn't that I just decided I wanted to write a novel. That's one thing. I wanted to become a business owner. I wanted to actually open a business and run my business and do all these things that I had no experience. And I had to humble myself, and I had to literally get my skills up to par. The very humbling idea, it doesn't change. You don't stop growing. Just because you hit whatever milestone, it doesn't stop. You just keep going. I think that's the beauty and the humbling part, that you just keep getting better. Look at number 4. To become a better spouse, a parent. My friends, you can add anything in this list. A better sibling, a better daughter, a better friend. Look at this one. To be able to get better as people to people, that's the part. A people to people. To get better than that, you have to grow in relationships. And this is the part. Unless you decide to live in a cave with a cat, which could be interesting. I don't know if I recommend it, but you can. Unless you truly decide to go hide somewhere, you're going to have to deal with people. And if you happen to be now in this new world, believe it or not, we're dealing with people in a whole different side, because now we're communicating differently, So you still have to be able to. So if you're trying to build people and deal with people and interact with people, you have to grow in relationships. And sometimes that means being a lot more patient than we are. I used to joke about that I'm not patient. I'm patient. just in one things that I choose to. So, ooh, Miss Lydia has joined us as well as my mom. By the way, quick plug, random plugs for everybody. So don't judge. My cat judges me all the time. So I can honestly admit, my mom dresses me. Let's be honest about that. I got tons of compliments last week because of my pink shirt. My mom picked the pink shirt. This really beautiful green one, she picked the green one as well. I'm very boring with my colors. I can tell you this right now. So hi, mommy. And she's joining us from Salem, which is really fun. So yeah, she has to dress me because when it comes to some coordination, I'm like, just give me some blues and I will be fine. So random note for the day. When it comes to growth, I need to growth in my whole entire world domination when it comes to clothes, but that's why I have my mother. She's good at that. Let's jump back. Take a look at number 5, my friends. To grow financially. This is the one that I don't know if you guys are in the same boat with me. I definitely am. For the longest time, I thought I was bad at managing money. And I didn't realize there's that whole language of money that I had to learn from the beginning. Like it was nothing good, bad. It didn't make me a bad person. I just didn't know. So when you're thinking about these things, every single aspects of our life, even when I even think about it, health, I had to learn that too. So let's jump to our last one. Last but not least, take a look at this. To enrich your soul. This is the one that I think most people get very confused. It says you need to grow spiritually. I truly believe there's a difference between being a spiritual person and being a religious person. You can disagree. We can all agree to disagree. That's perfectly okay. I don't think you have to be one or the other, or you have to be both. I truly consider myself a very, very spiritual person. And that means there is a higher power for me. My friends, your higher power can be what you believe is in your heart. If you have a communion with the Lord, if you have a communion with Buddha, if you have a communion with Jesus, if you have a communion with the divine, whatever speaks to you, it is what the spirituality is talking about. You know what I mean? It is that part that connects with your soul and speaks to you. It is not always the same for everybody, and that's okay. So just remember that. But you still have to grow in that. This is the part that when he says, it has to be intentional, because it's just not just going to happen. As hard as we want to believe, it doesn't just happen. It's something you have to commit. Why is growth so difficult? If we're trying to live our best life now, this is the part that we're talking about. If you're trying to reach your dreams, if you're trying to reach your goals, why is growing important? The problem is, it's not easy. If it was easy, we'll be there by now. It is something that you have to work on, and it's not sexy. This is the behind the scene nobody sees. This is the behind the scenes that is literally a commitment between you and yourself. It's you and the person in the mirror. So you're not having anybody there trying to give you pointers. You don't get an attaboy because you spend some time developing yourself. It is full and powerful enrichment. Nobody else does it. So this is what is hard about this part, is you going back and saying, I could be spending this time doing something else. Like yesterday, I could be doing something else. I did a website. Why? Because it was sexy. It was pretty. I could brag about it. I needed that ego boost. It was something that I could show people. But take a look at these things, my friends. Let's take one more look at it. The why. None of these whys talk about, if you're thinking about it, other people. This is not about a commitment to others. It's not what other people are going to think. So I have a quote that I want to read to you guys, which I truly just found it to be amazing. So it is from James Allen, and it's from the book As Men Thinks. So even John Maxwell, so the book's pretty amazing, but even John Maxwell quotes it. So this is what he says, and I'm going to read it to you guys. People are anxious to improve their circumstances, but they're unwilling to improve themselves. So therefore, they remain bound. So think about it, like completely dissect that. We want to change our current conditions. We don't like where we are. We know we're stuck. We want to do something. We want more money. We want a better career. We want a better car, whatever that might be. But how often are we willing to invest in us just to stop and do it? So those are huge paradigm change. You have to look at it a little different. So we're going to talk, and I kind of point you guys out. This is the book. I'm going to introduce you to the laws today. So he has 15 of them. This is the hard part, 15 laws, and the book has so much information. It's so amazing. But here's the part that I want to make sure you guys realize. John Maxwell says you should spend a week in each law, dissect them, dwell down to them, really kind of nourish them. What I found out with personal growth, and I'm a reader, I'm a life learner, I love it. Sometimes doing this by yourself can be completely overwhelming. Let's just be honest about this. Sometimes if you're anything like I am, I read some books, I read them quickly, I get to the point, and then I'm going, I don't think I got it. So if you're in that situation that you read the book or you need somebody to do it with you, I have some good news. I am going to be doing a study program here in September. So let's get through summer. Let's get us through some of this. We're going to be talking about it throughout the month. So between now and September, before the program is, I'm going to give you some tips. We're going to pull some jewels out of this. We're going to pull some nuggets out of this book, and we're going to kind of talk about it. But if you want to go deep down, if you want to delve into more, stay tuned, because we're going to have a program. So you can sign up for that if you're interested. I'll give you all the information. I'll tell you what the pricing is, how we're going to do it, all that fun stuff. Ooh, the fabulous Miss Tammy Hicks has joined us. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. I'm so excited. So let's jump into them. Once again, I apologize. I keep sucking. I'm making these things a little bigger. Take a picture. Here's the laws. I'm going to read them, and I'm going to give you a little bit more. So what I want to do with them is, he has 15 laws. I want to give you kind of a little bit snippet behind them and kind of go from there. So just kind of bear with me. So as we go through these laws, hopefully you guys don't mind. So law number 1, we talked a lot about it. The law of intentionality. Growth doesn't just happen. Let's be honest about this. As much as we wish it doesn't. So if the law of awareness, you must know yourself in order to grow. This is the hard part. You have to know who you are. And that's the part that we have to kind of go in, So he kind of delves into it. The good news about it is, in the book, he'll give you some tips. So we have to know ourselves. Ooh, hello, Miss Tammy again. So look at number 3, the mirror law, the law of the mirror. This is probably the one that hits home to me the most. This is the one that he says, you must see value in yourselves in order to add value to yourself. So let's stop for a moment. We have so many people in our lives, my friends, that have told us for so long what we can't do, what we shouldn't do. We're not good enough for this. We're not good enough for that. Some of us have heard this so many times that we believe that. We truly believe in our minds we're not worthy of improving ourselves. We're not worthy of good things. We don't have any value. So what Maxwell is saying, which is huge, in order for that, my friends, to truly actually change, you first have to see yourself as value. The person in the mirror has to be worth it. So this is a complete paradigm change. We have to change that mindset. How many times have people tell us we're not good enough? And we believe them. So look at the number 4, the law of reflection. We have to learn to pause and allow growth to catch up with us. Sometimes we have so much information, so much knowledge, it needs to sink in. So be thinking about that one. So look at number 5. Consistency. This is the one we talked about, lots about persistency. Motivation can get you going. Discipline is what's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you growing. It's going to keep you moving. So number 6 is actually one that I really want to cover for you guys. Environment. The law of environment. You cannot thrive in a negative environment, my friends. It doesn't happen. You cannot grow. You cannot develop in a place that you're not nourished, that you're in a place that is keeping you down. So think about trying to plant a tree in a desert. Yeah, you can plant it. Yes, you can water it. You can spend a lot of time and effort watering that baby. Unfortunately, it's not going to grow. It doesn't. It's the same thing with us. If you're not in an environment that is conducive to yourself, is an environment that is conducive to your growth, you're not going to grow, my friends. You're going to get stuck in these places, and then you're going to wonder every single time you have a person in your life. This is the hardest part. You have dreams, you have ideas, you have these belief systems. And let's be honest, we have these, once again, which I love, you have these devil's advocate who's going to tell you 1,500 reasons why it's not going to work. The devil does not need an advocate. He's pretty good on his own. You don't need those people in your life. So environment, where are you growing? Where are you planted? You must grow where you're planted. You must grow where you're planted, but you also have a choice of where you're planting yourself into. Who are the people near you? So the fabulous Miss Thelma has joined us. Ooh, I love that, by the way. Miss Lydia, you are so right. If Jesus died to save me, I must have some worth. Yes, amen, sweetie. And same to you, Miss Thelma. Thank you for joining us. Consistency. So let's jump back. So remember, I got a whole bunch of laws to go through. Let me give you some more. Take a look at number 7. To maximize your growth, you have to have a strategy. In order to get somewhere, you have to have a strategy. So we're going to jump to number 8. And if you saw it and you went, whoa, what does that say? What does that mean, DC? The law of pain. We live in a world of humans. We live in a world where every single person has a free will, whether we like it or not, which means we're all going to suffer at some point in time, my friends. Something is going to happen that is going to hit home. How we manage those conditions and those experiences is what growth is going to happen. We have to be able to manage our negative experiences. So in other words, you can take those tests and make them into your testimony. It is one of those things that has to happen because you can get stuck reliving those negative things over and over. Think about how many people you know that can't, we say they have a chip on their shoulder. Probably a chip, but what is happening is they haven't been able to manage those negative situations that happen to them. So, Miss Craig has jumped in here. One of the favorite sayings, stage 4 cancer survivor. Okay. I have walked the stress of hell. I have walked the streets of hell with Jesus by my God. I love that. And I am so happy that you are a cancer survivor. Congratulations, darling. He is so full of information. Every time I talk to him, he blows me away. So jumping back, where are we, my friends? What law are we in? Look at number 9. Character growth determines the height of your personal growth. How much you're willing to grow in your character is going to determine that. The law of the rubber band. Growth stops when you lose the tension between where you are and where you want to be. Those are things that are very important. And 10, look at 11. Is the law of the trade-off. You have to give up something in order to grow. The one thing we all have in common is that time is not our friend. Time is very limited. It's the only thing we don't have abundantly. We all have the same amount of time. So if you're trying to grow, you're trying to get to the next step, what are you going to give up? Because you can't hang out with the same friends that are keeping you down and think you're going to move to the next stage in your life and be able to honestly succeed. It doesn't happen. You have to be able to do it. One of the things that I joke with everybody when I decided to become a writer, have a full-time job, have a full-time business, I gave up eating. I don't know why, because didn't have time. I give up sleeping, not healthy things that I recommend, but there's always a trade-off. Something has to give in, and you have to be very aware of that, my friends. So look at the law of curiosity, number 12. My favorite. This is probably my rule for writing. Growth is stimulated by asking why. Modeling is hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. Do you honestly have good role models in your life? Are you doing this by yourself? Miss Lydia has said we cannot do everything. Yes, you have to be willing to give something out, my friends. And also you have to be willing to know what you can and cannot do. Outsource. I'm all about outsourcing. Know who you can contact. Also, so modeling. Who is it in your life that you have that is helping you out? Who do you have for a role model? I am huge in personal growth and mentors. Why? Because I have tons of mentors. I realize I need some people to question my bubble. So I need them in my life as much as you probably need them in yours. So let's jump into the last ones we got here. Look at 14. Expansion. The law of the expansion. I think this is actually amazing because it says, growth always increases your capacity. This is the part that you are not aware. We have very limiting beliefs. This is the part that we think of the things we can't do. Everything starts with our thoughts. And somehow we have been programmed for years and years of all the things we can and cannot do, my friends. You can do so much more than you can possibly imagine. It is incredible. But as you grow, your capacity grows, your mind changes, your paradigms, your belief system completely switches. And the things that you thought you couldn't do becomes things of the past. Last but not least, look at this one. The law of contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. This is why I'm here. I have years and years of personal growth and leadership training, and you can imagine. And it finally hit me. At the end of the day, I am a healer. And I want to save everybody. Probably not the best word because we already have a savior if you happen to be Christian. But I want to help everybody. I want people to live their next life over. And it finally took some time for me to realize I'm a storyteller. Like, how do I pour into people? But I had to get to that place in my life where I was truly, truly prepared for this. And I had to grow. So here's something that I'm going to tell you, that we're growing every day. I would like to tell you that if you follow 15 laws and you're amazingly going to snap your fingers and bam, you're going to be there. We don't stop growing, ever. So I had this wild idea. So here's another confession time. So bear with me. I had this crazy wild idea a couple of weeks ago. And I wanted to, I don't know where this idea came from, because I can tell you, we can tap, if you believe in a higher power and intelligence, tap into that. This idea came that I wanted to do a devotional series. I wanted to do a companion set for this specifically. I wanted to give you some tools, and I wanted to give you something that you can go back and work on it, so we can work on this together. And the idea terrified me. Can we just put this out there? I have no idea where this came from. I've never done a devotional. I had all these questioning thoughts in my head. Starting with I call the, this imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Am I meant to be doing this? Why would I do this? Who made me qualify? Somehow I forgot the fact that, I spent years as a youth minister taking classes to be prepared for that. I forgot that I have years experience in teaching and training and mentoring. I forgot all that. All I could think about, and I panicked, was what am I thinking? What will anybody say? We know we talk about criticism. Oh yeah, all the way. I fell deep down and I fought it, my friends. I fought this whole thing for weeks, and I completely thought this is insane. And I usually joke with people. I have conversations with God. I have all my excuses lined out, and they're amazing, because he said, you need to do a devotional. And I said, not really. By the way, if you ever have conversations with anybody with spiritual powers, you realize you're always going to lose. So I thought, hey, sure, I'll do this book for December. And, reality comes, so you can do an album in 3 months, but I can't get a devotional. So these conversations went, and I finally had to get out of my way. So I want to introduce you to this, my friends, because this has been my absolute journey in the last couple weeks, and I finally can tell you about it. And it's so real that it's ready. Literally, it's going to be released August 14. It is all about a companion to our current series. If you're interested in it, you can pre-order now. It's going to be available both an ebook as well as print. So let me give you what the concept behind is. So as we talked about personal growth, I am a believer that we all need somebody. Sometimes it's not easy to walk it by ourselves. So one of the things that I decided to do is a 4-week devotional. If you have never done a devotional and this is a little scary, I understand. It's not for everybody. And if you happen to be not Christian, I use the Bible. You can use any companion book that you want. It is 2,000 years old, and is when my bubbles are falling apart, I go back to the Bible. I love the scriptures. So, Mr. Craig, have an amazing show. Crossing fingers. We'll see you later. So devotional. Why did I do it? So, and Miss Tammy, you say, yay was what, this is how I'm feeling, in case you guys are wondering. Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? What makes me qualified? So this is the part that I realized. We all have a testimony, my friends. We all have a place that we're coming from. We all have a journey that we're there for. So here's the part that I realized. So it's a 4-week. Each week has a different process. The very first week is, how do we see ourselves? I want to dare you guys to believe, which is interesting, because this devotional dared me to the core to step outside of my comfort zone. It made me grow and made me do research. It brought me back to being a beginner and a new person in this concept. And it truly, truly humbled me to my core. So basically, how do we see ourselves? One of the things that I wanted to start is, we all see ourselves from the worst perspective. We are our worst critics, believe it or not. Guess what? We're not alone. If you're looking at the heroes of faith, the people that have done so much in our history and have done, you're looking at the Bibles and their, amazing deed. It didn't start out that way. Moses fought with the Lord that he stuttered. You had King Solomon that said, I'm young. You had Gideon that says, I come from the weakest family. When we realize, my friends, that we're all in this together and we all have the same beginnings, we tend to let go of some of these fears. You don't have to be perfect to do amazing things. So then week two is all about how the Lord sees you. You're amazingly made. You're beautiful. You're perfect. I want to pour into you guys. I want to remind you every day how amazing you are. I want to remind you how powerful and beautiful you are. Week 3, it's all about facing our fears. Do not be afraid and fear not is said in the Bible over 200 times. So obviously they were afraid. If the Lord had to consistently tell them, do not be afraid. Granted, I would love for the Lord to come in and give me a burning bush and talk to me. That would be easy, but he speaks to us very differently, but he still speaks. And week 4 is believe. Let's believe you can live your next life ever and truly see it, that it is meant for you to be there. So this is what the devotion is all about. It is coming out 14 August. As we get closer, we're going to be doing some giveaways. I'm going to be able to give you guys some pages from the book so you guys can have extras of it. You're going to have some information. So last week, my friends, I told you that I wanted to do something special. So I kind of teased you a little bit about the fact that, we have a program coming up. Program's coming up in September. We'll continue to talk about it throughout the programs. Don't worry about it. But I wanted to do something fun. And I really wanted to be able to walk with you in this journey. So in between trying to failing make a website has been the pain of my week. This is what I decided to do. We're going to do Motivation Mondays. So if you need a little extra encouragement, if you need a little bit, let's get you up and going every Monday, I'm going to send you quotes. So you can sign up literally for the newsletter. Join me there. Every Monday, by the way, if you do join, this is the catch. Remember, it's a dual enrollment. Sign up for it. It's going to send you a confirmation email. Make sure it doesn't go to your spam. So we don't want you to feel like you're spamming. So every Monday, we're going to kick you off. You also get to get updates of anything happens. So, when the program comes up, anything fun that we have going on, you'll be able to do it. But how do we get you there? Let's do Motivational Mondays. Let me get you to start. If nobody tells you that week that you're amazing, I'm going to tell you. If nobody tells you that you're fabulous, I'm going to remind you. And if you need a little, motivation to get you going and hey, take the next step, we're going to do it. So you're going to get some quotes. You're going to get some fabulous shots, some beautiful things. So every Monday. So if you're interested, the link is right there. That's the one thing I can tell you that I actually was very intentional about doing this week. I needed to create a landing page to able to help you to do this. So I wanted to give you something a little. You can unsubscribe anytime. Trust me, this is nothing huge or crazy, but at least let's start the Monday. Let's get you inspired. Let's get you motivated. Let's get you kick off every Monday with something to smile. So sign up for the newsletter. Make sure you say hi, reply. I'll be checking it out. Eventually, if I ever finish this website, I'll tell you all about it. Maybe, maybe not. Nobody's going to die. That's okay. So my friends, as we get ready to close, it is such a pleasure to be here with you. I'm always so honored that you join me. And I'm always so excited that you guys are taking some time, that you're kicking off your Saturdays with me. So I wanted to thank you. I'm honored and I'm always, always truly moved that you guys are making me part of your homes and that you guys are joining me. If nobody tells you today, my friends, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are talented. You are worth it. You are officially the most important thing that we have. Please follow your dreams. Please, please, please know that the world needs you and needs you to do amazing things. So have a happy Saturday, everyone. Enjoy. I will see you all next week. And we're going to start delving into growth. So this is my little baby. I'm all excited. So we're going to get ready to do a little bit more growth. I'm going to give you some tips. Join the Motivation on Monday so you can get some fun quotes and some beautiful pictures. And have an amazing Saturday, everybody. See you next week.